The data analyst, equal parts technician, philosopher, and custodian. You don't just sift through numbers, you wade through the bias. Assumptions, blind spots. The mess isn't always in the data. It's in how we collect it, how we frame it. The survival bias? It's there. From political pressure, gut instinct, and, well, office politics baked into every cell. If you ever watch The Wire, you know, the numbers get juked, morale tanks, and the people stop believing. But we don't have that luxury. Our job is to bring clarity from noise and remind folks there's still something worth believing in. A blank spreadsheet is like an empty kitchen, sterile, silent, but packed with possibility. The project? Just a small data set to tackle. Nothing glamorous, no smoking guns, no dramatic boardroom showdown, but it's real enough to matter, real enough to train the eye, the hand, the instinct. Because being an analyst isn't about clicking buttons, it's about listening to what the data isn't saying. It's about listening and noticing a weird gap. That off number, that outlier no one asked about, you make it speak. You clean, you cut, you reshape until the noise becomes a narrative. And in that process, if you're lucky, you might just learn something about the world. The raw mess. This one's simple. Student performance data from some anonymous institution. Rows of gender, test prep, and what the parents did or didn't do for school. On the surface, it's clinical, dry, but here's the thing. Story's always there if you're paying attention. Why do some kids pass while others coast into failure? Whose names are missing? What questions didn't get asked? You won't always get perfect, well-labeled columns. Most days, the data shows up like leftovers scrapped into a plastic container. Unmarked, unloved, maybe even expired. Sometimes you're deep in Python or fishing through SQL just to find a common key. Other times it's just hecklers sparing. The stakeholder should navigate it like a well-lit bar menu. No thinking, just ordering. Flow inside the workbook matters. Left to right, top to bottom, inputs up front, calculations in the deck, takeaways at the end, name ranges like the colleagues whose names you've forgotten. It's a stranger that can follow the conversation. Automation is the garnish, a macro that refreshes all pivots, a slicer that lets the superintendent isolate grade 10 with one click. Give people toys and they'll explore without breaking your cookware. Then stress the test line. Yank a source file, swap two columns, kill the network for a laugh. If the workbook cracks, shore it up for showtime. Nothing torpedoes credibility faster than during the actual demo. The workflow you're working on is anthropology. Monday, the principal wants a single KPI. Tuesday, the guidance counselor begs for raw rows of 10 students. Wednesday at midnight, you're exporting CSVs for an ed tech platform you've never heard of. A well-built order flow bends without breaking because it was designed for change, not stasis. And then you finish. The visual reveal. Lights down, curtains up, the quiet creature roars. I dropped raw scores into a pivot, drag letter grades to columns, student count to values. The bars rise like skyline silhouettes, success, struggles, everything in between. The raw bars don't sell the story, so I season them. Muted greens for passes, amber red for fails, grid line banish, access labels whisper. The eye lands where it should on that stubborn tower of C-. Next, a running average line, thin as fishing wire, cuts across the skyline. It murmurs a second tail. Performance dips after lunch. Recovers by the finals. I pin a note. Our course starts, and the uptick gains meaning. Color theory matters. Warm tones cue urgency. Cool tones invite calm. A faint gray threshold line at 60% hovers like moral ground zero. Once you notice it, you can't unsee it. Accessibility isn't optional. High contrast palette, alt text on every chart element, numeric table below, chopsticks and a fork. Everyone eats. Then the interactive filters, the secret menu, gender toggle, parental education slider, lunch type switch. We might not do it this time. But I know that in real time, the dopamine hits. Finally, an animated comparison. And either way, the silence in the room tells you the message landed. It's when people ask you questions that maybe things aren't clear. Export a PDF for the email warriors, a static image file for slide decks, and keep the live workbook for the brave. There's no passport stamps, yet the trip changes you. We slog through the slums of bad data, hose off the grime, and surface to a skyline view of what's honest. Excel isn't glamorous, but neither is the grind of a Major League Baseball player training regimen. You work hard to make it look easy. Beauty hides in the discipline of caring when nobody else does. Clean sheets mean clearer heads, smarter questions, fairer outcomes. Maybe even a kid passes algebra because someone spotted a pattern before it became a prophecy. When it doesn't work, hopes fall through the cracks, and the business loses money. So don't let this workbook die in your downloads folder. As you follow this data analyst journey, we'll delve into splicers and pivot tables and VLOOKUPs, even automate through ETL the extraction, transformation, load. For now, thanks for watching my Bite.